Good morning, students. I'm here to continue with your plus one economics. We'll start up the class with a school prayer. Close your eyes and say the prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be His name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I hope you all remember the topics that what did we discuss in the last class. You remember that we were talking about the law of diminishing marginal utility. Remember what is the law? Remember? So according to Alfred Marshall, when a consumer consumes a commodity, the satisfaction that he gets from the additional unit of the commodity will be declining. This is the law. You remember? The additional benefit which a person derives from, you remember the definition, benefits which a person derives from given increase of the stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. So when a consumer consume an apple, when a consumer continues to consume one after another the apple, the satisfaction that he gets from apple from the last unit of the commodity, last unit of the apple, seventh unit, suppose a consumer consumes 7 apples in vechukongala. For instance, a consumer consumes 7 apples. The satisfaction that the consumer gets from the last 7th apple will be declining. This is the law, you remember. And also I explained you the law with the help of a schedule and diagram. I hope you all remember. You remember the diagram? I don't think so. Diagram is not taught yet. We were started up the diagram is taught. Diagram is taught. The law fully I thought I remember. I think we have to go for the criticism of the law of diminishing marginal utility. Utility cannot be measured. So what is the meaning of criticism? Disadvantages. First criticism, utility cannot be measured numerically because it is related to it is a subjective matter. What is the meaning of subjective? Psychological feeling of the people. So utility, the satisfaction that you get from a commodity cannot be measured in the numerical value. So 1, 2, 3 measured பண்ண முடியாது. You understand? Because that's related to the mental feeling of the consumer. You understand? We can't understand whether he tells the consumer tells the truth or not. How do we know whether he gets a maximum satisfaction or not? How do we know? Because it is something related to his mental feeling. He himself knows. He only knows that what is the satisfaction that he gets from the commodity. The consumer only knows. We don't know that. We can't go inside of his heart and say that his satisfaction is maximum. How do we know? We can't know. So first criticism, first disadvantage of the law of diminishing marginal utility is the utility, the satisfaction that we get from a commodity cannot be measured in numerical value because utility is subjective. Subjective, what is the meaning of subjective? Mental feeling or psychological feeling. You understand? The law is based on, second criticism is, the law is based on unrealistic assumption. See, if you go through the assumption of the law of diminishing marginal utility, most of the assumptions are unrealistic. It cannot be used. It cannot be used in the practical life. So, for an example, for an instance, so utility can be measured in numerical. Marginal utility of money remains constant. The shape of the commodity that you take for consumption should be the same. The process must be continuously done. The consumption process must be continuously done, and the consumer tries to get maximum satisfaction. Such assumption conditions framed by Alfred Marshall are unrealistic. They are not real. They cannot be able to apply in the practical life. We cannot be able to apply them in the practical life. How can we consume the same size of laddu or some products? It's impossible in real life, right? How can we continuously consume a commodity? It's impossible in real life. In reality, it's impossible. So the assumptions are unrealistic. They are not real. They cannot be used in the practical life. Second one. And third one, the law is not applicable to indivisible commodities. I was giving you example for indivisible commodity. CD, compact disc cannot be broken into, cannot be able to split, divide into small parts and can be used. It's impossible, no? How can we break the CD and watch a movie or music or anything else? See, listen music or watch movie? It's impossible. We cannot break, we cannot split. Understand? Cannot be split into many smaller size CD. If CD is in full size, full only can be able to watch the movie or can be able to listen the music, can be used. But if it is broken into smaller size, we cannot be able to use it. You understand? That is the CD, compact disc, car, house. They are the example for the indivisible goods. I was telling you the meaning of indivisible goods. Indivisible goods which can be indivisible goods which cannot be broken into smaller parts. We call them as indivisible goods. Divisible goods which can be broken into smaller size. Indivisible goods which cannot be broken into smaller size. We call it as indivisible goods. So this law is not applicable to the indivisible goods, indivisible commodities. Example, house, car, and CD. And exception to the law where we cannot use this law. What are the things that are exception to this law of diminishing marginality? Where we cannot be able to apply this law in pathina, first one is hobbies. If a person made something as a regular, if take me, say for an example, I have the habit of taking coffee daily in the morning when I wake up. If this becomes as a habit, so hobbies, if I'm talking about habit, not a hobbies. I'm telling for habit first. You understand? So if I made as a habit taking coffee daily in the morning, you understand that will not be coming under this law. Law will not be applicable for habits and also for hobbies. If I have I may be having a lot of hobbies, playing cricket, playing tennis, playing games, video games. I may be having this hobbies. I will never be tired. I will never be tired if I would like to play cricket all the time. If it is my hobby, playing cricket is my hobby. I will not be tired by playing cricket more all the time. The entire day, if I play cricket, because I like that. Well, I like playing cricket. This is my hobby. So I cannot be tired. I will not be tired when I play cricket because it's my hobby too. Understand? So hobbies and drunkards. Who are drunkards? The person, those who are using more alcohol. We call them as drunkards. Drunkards. So drunkards, no, they will never they'll never feel tired because they are addicted to the alcohol. So drunkards, they'll keep on take the alcohol. They'll never become tired and their marginal utility of alcohol will not be declined because he is addicted to the alcohol and drinks. You understand? So it will be exception to the law of diminishing marginality. This law will not be applicable there for drunkards. And third one, misers. Who are misers? The person one who is stingy. We call him as a miser. Miser, what do you say in Tamil? Kanja pisnari. We call him as a miser, stingy person. You understand? Miser, one who doesn't want to spend a lot of money and wants to save. No, we call him as a maybe having more money, but things to spend. We call him as a stinger or miser. So miser will not get his satisfaction from the money will not be declining for a miser. Understand? And next one, music, poetry, and reading. such music, those who wish to listen music, no, their satisfaction also will not be decreased. If they would like to listen music, they'll keep on listen. Because if I would like to listen Ilayaraja, I will not, my satisfaction will not be declining because I like the songs, Ilayaraja songs the most. So it will not be decreased. You understand? It will not be decreased. If I'm interested to listen the music, if I'm interested to write the poem, the satisfaction that I get from the writing of poem or listening of music will not be decreased. And next one, reading a book, novels, maybe a habit of me or hobby of me. If I'm very interested to read a book, to read novels, to read a poem, to read a story, so you understand? So if I'm interested to do, the satisfaction that I'm getting from the reading also will not be decreased. So these are the things which are the exception to the law of diminishing marginality. Exception is nothing but விதிவிலக்கு. The law and the எதெல்லாம் வந்து இந்த லாக்கு பொருந்தாது, the things which cannot be applied into the law, that what is called as exception. Understand? And let's go for the importance of law of diminishing marginal utility. I am written shortly here. Law of diminishing marginal utility. LDMU. You understand? Shortly written. So let's go for the importance or application of law of diminishing marginal utility. First one, the law of diminishing marginal utility is one of the fundamental law of consumption analysis. This is very useful for the consumer to get the to say about the satisfaction of a commodity. This is being one of the fundamental law. The law of diminishing marginal utility is the basic or fundamental laws of consumption analysis, or it is very useful for the consumer to say about their his satisfaction, consumer satisfaction. First importance, very useful for the consumer. First one. So the law of diminishing marginal utility is one of the fundamental law of consumption analysis, are very useful for the consumers. Understand? So to say the satisfaction of the consumers. Second one, the law is basis for other economic laws or consumption laws. Example, elasticity of demand, law of demand, consumer surplus, and law of substitution. So the law of diminishing marginal utility is the basis for other consumption laws. What are the consumption laws? Law of demand. Law of demand. Anyway, that it's going to be the next topic after consumer surplus. You are going to learn about what is the meaning of law of demand and the explanation with the help of a schedule and diagram. Anyway, that we are going to learn. Let me tell you the heading alone. Everything consumer surplus, elasticity of demand, everything that you are going to learn. Okay, let me tell you what is the meaning of it. You understand? So the law of diminishing marginal utility is the basis for the other consumption laws. Example, law of demand, elasticity of demand, theory of consumer surplus, and finally law of substitution. So this law is being base for the other economic laws, other consumption laws. What is the meaning of law of demand? Law of demand is nothing but when a price of a commodity increases, the demand for a commodity decreases. Understand? When the price of a commodity increases, the demand for the commodity decreases. For an example, the price of mask nowadays, the price of face mask are increased. Understand? So when the price of mask are increased, people M95 mask, if the price of M95 mask are increased, what will happen to the demand for M95 mask will be decreased. It's quite natural. It's quite natural, right? So see that when the prices of face mask M95 is increased, what will happen to the demand? Demand will be decreased. You understand? If the powerful price, reasonable price that the people would like to buy the mask, face mask. First point, you understand? Law of demand. When the law of demand says when the price of a commodity increases, the demand for the commodity decreases. Vice versa. The price of the commodity decreases, the demand for the commodity increases. When the price of face mask, no use and throw mask, is decreased, what will happen to the, suppose the face mask, no use and surgical mask, they were sold out for higher price. One piece was sold out for 10 rupees the last year. Now it becomes as 5 rupees because that you understand, the price is decreased. When the price of face mask, surgical mask is decreased, the demand for the surgical mask is increased. You understand? This is the law of demand. You understand what is the meaning of the law of demand? Law of demand says that when the price of a commodity increases, the demand for the commodity decreases. When the price of the commodity decreases, the demand for the commodity increases. This is what we call it as law of demand. Understand? And what is elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand is nothing but the rate of change in the, I was telling about law of demand. When the price changes, automatically it makes the demand to change. That's what is called as law of demand. But law of demand is failed to explain how much of change that will happen in the, that will change the demand due to change in price. The law of demand failed to explain it. Price increase ana demand decrease agum. Price increase ஆச்சுன்னா demand decrease ஆகும் தான் சொல்லுது தவிர law of demand எவ்வளோ price increase ஆனா எவ்வளோ demand decrease ஆகும், எவ்வளோ price decrease ஆனா எவ்வளோ demand increase ஆகுன்றத சொல்லவே இல்லை. The law of demand failed to explain how much of change in price will make a change, how much change in the demand is not explained. But see, with the help of elasticity of demand, it explains when the price changes, how much of change will be occurred in the demand. Will be there in the demand is explained through the elasticity of demand. Elasticity means flexibility, able to change. Understand? So elasticity of demand says how much of change is there in the demand due to change in the price, saying about the rate of change in the demand due to change in the price is called as elasticity of demand. You got it? And next one, consumer surplus. Consumer surplus means a gain, a benefit of a consumer is called as surplus, additional, extra. Consumer surplus says the differences between the billing price of a consumer and the actual price of the consumer. Understand? This is what we call it as consumer surplus. For an example, a person wants to buy a shirt for 100 rupees. He is thinking himself, the consumer, the person is thinking himself that the price of the shirt, brand of shirt, a particular brand of shirt that he is thinking in his mind is going to be sold out for 100 rupees. He is thinking himself. But see that we went and saw there in the textile, the same shirt is sold out for 50 rupees. He was very happy about it. Understand? He was very happy about it. And 100 rupees that he was thinking to, he was willing to spend for a shirt. Unfortunately, the shirt is sold out for 50 rupees. So 100 minus 50, 100 minus 50 is equal to 50. 50 is the consumer surplus. It's a gain to the consumer or benefit to the consumer. You got it? Have you ever followed me? I hope so that you could be able to follow me. One more thing that just I wanted to tell you that most of you are leaving at the end of the class when the question session is coming to you. You people are leaving the class. You are not supposed to do so because at the end of the class only the attendance will be taken. So you must stay on the line. I'm very clearly telling you, if anyone fails to say the answer for the question, which means that you will be made as absent. If any message or call comes from the teacher and ask you why you didn't attend the class, that we are not responsible. Understand? So you'll be made absent if you fail to say the answer, or if you are leaving the class without completion, that you will be made as an absentee. You understand? So try to understand it and stay on the line. Listen. This is the only one source that you have the touch with the studies, online class. There is no other way. So you should be staying on the line and listen carefully. சரியா போட்டு விட்டுட்டு எங்கன்னா ஓடி போயிடாத. சரியா ஹோல்ட்ல போடுறது, மினிமைஸ் பண்றது, கிளாஸ் ஆன் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு மியூட்ல போட்டு நீ எங்கேயாச்சும் போடிடுவ. இது வேலை கிடையாது. ஓகேவா? Because you take your studies serious. Okay, let's go for the lesson. So you understand? So elasticity of demand says the rate of change in demand due to change in price is called as elasticity of demand. And consumer surplus, I was telling about consumer surplus. Consumer surplus, I gave one example. I was giving you an example also. And what is the law of substitution? Law of substitution is the law of equi-marginal utility. That what you are going to learn in the next topic. Understand? So law of substitution is nothing but when a consumer consumes two commodities. For an example, we'll take as Ronnie. There is a girl called Ronnie. Ronnie consumes two commodities. He consumes apple and orange. Ronnie takes apple and orange, both the commodities. But see that, what is the law of substitution? See, if Ronnie consumes more apple and less orange, until she equalizes the apple with the orange, she should spend the money from apple to orange. Understand? So see that Rani has taken two commodities. One is apple, another one is orange, and she is spending more money for apple, and she is spending less money for orange. So suppose for 5 apples she has taken and 2 oranges that she has consumed. See that for marginal utility from apple is fine, fine until the satisfaction that she gets from orange is equal to 5, she should spend the money for orange than apple. She should stop spending money for apple and she should spend more money for orange until the satisfaction of orange is equal to the apple. You got it? Have you ever followed me? I hope that you could be able to follow me. Orange apple எடுத்துக்கறாங்கன்னா short and simple சொல்றேன் நம்ம லாங்குவேஜ்ல. ஆரஞ்சா ஆப்பிள் எடுத்துக்கறாங்கன்னா ஆப்பிள் நிறைய ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றாவ, ஆரஞ்சு கம்மியா ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றா. ஆப்பிள் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணி அவளோட மார்ஜின் யூட்டிலிட்டி வந்து 5 னா லாஸ்ட் 5th ஆப்பிளுக்கு அவருக்கு கிடைச்ச சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் 5. அந்த 5 வர வரைக்கும் ஆப்பிளுக்கு ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணாம ஆரஞ்சுக்கு ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணி அந்த மார்ஜின் யூட்டிலிட்டி 5 வர வரைக்கும் அவ ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணிட்டே இருந்து அதை ஈக்குவலைஸ் பண்ணணும். That what is called as law of substitution. She substitutes instead of apple for orange. Understand? By spending more money to orange than apple. That what is called as law of substitution. You got it? Let's go for the third one. This law of diminishing marginal utility is very useful for the finance minister. I just wanted to tell you the finance minister. Who is the finance minister? Who is the finance minister of India? Do you have any idea? You have no idea? Let me. She is the finance minister of India. What is her name? Nirmala Sitharaman. And can you guess who are they? He is the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, and she is Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. Understand? She is the finance minister of India. And who is the finance minister of Tamil Nadu? You have any idea? No? PTR, Palanivel Tyagarajan. Note it out. Make a note of it aside of a book. Understand? Palanivel, PTR, Palanivel Tyagarajan. Thangarajan and Chikpar. It's a Palanivel Tyagarajan. PTR, Palanivel Tyagarajan is the finance minister of Tamil Nadu. And even the entire country, she is the finance minister of the entire country, India. India full, she is the finance minister. You understand? So the law of diminishing marginal utility helps to this finance minister to fix the law or to fix the rate of tax. See, on the basis of the marginal utility of income, the finance minister will fix more tax on the rich and less tax on the poor. You understand? So see that marginal utility of money when a tax person income increases, when a person's income increases, the tax rate also increases. When the marginal utility of money falls, when the marginal utility of money falls, the income of a person increases, the tax amount also will be increased. The law of diminishing marginal utility is very useful to the finance minister for the progressive taxation on the basis of to impose tax on the basis of progressive taxation. What is the meaning of progressive taxation? Progressive taxation is nothing but when the income of a person increases, the tax amount also increases. If my income is 20 rupees, suppose for my income is 50,000 for this month, and the next month my income is increased from 50,000 to 2 lakhs. So my tax rate also will be increased when my income increases, and the marginal utility of my income will fall. You understand? Will fall. Understand? So the more income, more tax. Less income, less tax by the poor is fixed by the finance minister on the basis of the progressive taxation through the law of diminishing marginal utility. Understand? Did you understand? So it is very useful for the finance minister to fix the tax rate. More income, more tax to the rich person, and marginality of rich person, income will be declining, and less income, less tax, and marginality of money will be more for poor. They have to pay less amount of money as a tax to the government. You got it? And next, we should for the next point. This law is very useful for the equal distribution of wealth to the government. Marginality of money is more. The marginality of money to the rich person is low, and hence that the redistribution of income from rich to poor is justified. So the law of diminishing marginality is very useful to the government to redistribute the income, to distribute the income equally to all. So there'll be justifiable, there'll be equal income to the rich as well as the poor is useful by the law of diminishing. Is very useful to government to distribute the equal income to the rich and poor, to the rich and poor people. So redistribution of income from rich to poor நியாயமான distribute பண்றதுக்கு income distribute பண்றதுக்கு ரிச்சுக்கு போவர்க்கும் நியாயம். Suppose 500 rupees, 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees is income to a poor person, the same 10,000 rupees is distributed to the rich person. So this law is very useful to distribute the equal income to the rich and poor person. Understand? And next one, actually Adam Smith, this law of diminishing marginality is very useful to the author Adam Smith to explain the diamond water paradox. Diamond water paradox. Diamond water paradox. What is the meaning of paradox? Difficult. Controversy. Paradox. Controversy. That what is called as paradox. So this law of diminishing marginality is very useful to the author or economist Adam Smith to explain the diamond water paradox. What is this concept? You all know there is scarcity for the diamond. There is scarcity for the diamond, but the price is high. Price is high, and also marginal utility is also high for the diamond. Likewise, water is abundant in supply, more in supply, unlimited in supply, but it is an essential. Diamond is not essential for us. See, There is scarcity for the diamond. Diamond is not essential for us, but its marginal utility and price both are high. But in water, water is essential for us. Abundant, unlimited in supply, but its marginal utility and price both are low compared to diamond. So to explain this concept on the basis of the marginal utility, Adam Smith uses the law of diminishing marginal utility. Understand? He compares. And let's go for the new topic called law of equi-marginal utility. What is the next topic? Law of equi. What is the meaning of equi? Equality. The law of equi-marginal utility. See that equi-marginal utility equal marginal utility. Equal marginal utility. Marginal utility will be marginal. Equal marginal. Understand? So let's go for the law. The law of diminishing marginal utility is applicable only want of single commodity consumption. What is the law? Law of diminishing marginal utility is applicable only the satisfaction of one commodity consumption mode. Law of diminishing marginal utility, what did it deal? It dealt with the satisfaction of one commodity, the want of satisfaction of single commodity. ஒரு பொருள் வந்து எப்படி நமக்கு மேக்ஸிமம் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் கிடைக்கும், மார்ஜினல் யூட்டிலிட்டி அதுல இருந்து எப்படி குறையும் அப்படின்றத சொல்றதுதான் the law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility is only applicable to the want of single commodity consumption. See, when a consumer consumes more than, it's quite natural. Wants are unlimited in our life, in real life. Wants are unlimited, or most of the wants are to be satisfied. So when a consumer, we can't say that the consumer only consume only one commodity. How do we say? How can we say? Maybe likely to consume more than one commodity. So when a consumer consumes more than one commodity, maybe 2 or 3 commodity, 4 commodity, 5 commodity, like that, when a consumer consumes more than one commodity, the reaction of the behavior of the consumer is explained through the law called law of equi-marginal utility. So law of equi-marginal utility says about the consumer's behavior, a consumer's reaction when a consumer consumes more than one commodity. For an example, I consume a law of diminishing marginal utility that was taken as apple, a commodity, for an example. Here, more than one commodity, I would like to consume apple and orange. If when I consume apple and orange, what will be my behavior? How will be my behavior is explained through the law called law of equi-marginal utility. You got it? Got it? So when a consumer consumes more than one commodity, the satisfaction or the reaction, the behavior of the consumer is explained through the law is called as law of equi-marginal utility. So this law is an extension of the law of diminishing marginal utility is called as law of equi-marginal utility. It is otherwise called law of substitution. What is law of substitution? I explained in the previous topic itself. When I explained the law is basis for the law, importance of law of diminishing marginal utility itself, that I explained. Understand what is a law of substitution. So law of equi-marginal utility is otherwise called law of substitution and law of consumer's equilibrium. What is consumer's equilibrium? The satisfaction, the marginal utility, the satisfaction that he gets from the last additional unit of the commodity, additional unit of the two commodity will be equal under the That what is called as consumer's equilibrium. So if your consumer consumes two commodity, orange and apple, the marginal utility of two commodity will be equal, is the consumer's equilibrium. The consumer will be in equilibrium when the marginal utility of two commodity is equal. You understand that what is called as equilibrium. Equilibrium na equality, equal marginal utility from both the commodities called as consumer's equilibrium. Understand? அப்புறம் ஒரு ரெண்டு கமாடிட்டி ஒரு கன்சியூமர் கன்சியூம் பண்றாருன்னா அவருக்கு லாஸ்டா ரெண்டு கமாடிட்டி அதாவது அடிஷனலா யூஸ் பண்ற கமாடிட்டில இருந்து அவருக்கு கிடைக்கிற சாட்டிஸ்பாக்சன் வந்து ஈக்குவலா இருக்கும் ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல. அதுதான் கன்சியூமர்ஸ் ஈக்லிபிரியம். So this law is otherwise called the law of consumers equilibrium, and also this law is otherwise called Gauss's second law. The law of equilibrium marginal utility is otherwise called Gauss's second law, and also it is otherwise called the law of maximum satisfaction. The law of maximum satisfaction. What are the other names of law of equilibrium marginal utility? First one is law of substitution. Second one is law of consumer's equilibrium. Third one is Gauss's second law. Fourth one is law of maximum satisfaction. Understand? These are the four other names of law of equilibrium marginal utility. You got it? And next one, definition. We have to go for the definition of law of equilibrium marginal utility. Introduction that we saw now. Introduction. Definition. Let's go for the definition. So according to Alfred Marshall, actually, this law of equilibrium marginal utility is also developed by Alfred Marshall only. Alfred Marshall, I should have said this, but it's not given in the textbook. Law of equilibrium marginal utility also is developed by Alfred Marshall only. Who is introduced? Who developed the law of equilibrium marginal utility? Alfred Marshall. So Alfred Marshall defines what is law of equilibrium marginal utility. You understand? So Alfred, if a person as a thing which he can put into several users, he will distribute it among these users in such a way that he has the same utility or same marginal utility in all. This is the definition. And a person as a thing, see, if a person as a thing, I have a thing called water. I'm giving example for this definition. If a person as a thing, what is the thing that I have? I'm a person, I have water, which can put for several uses. Washing, cleaning, and cooking. Understand? Then bathing. So what I have water, I use this thing for several users. He will distribute this water among this user, among these different users in such a way the satisfaction that he get from all the users will be the same. The satisfaction, you understand, the marginal utility, the additional satisfaction from all the users will be the same is the law. So according to Alfred Marshall, if a person has a thing which he can put into several users, he will distribute the thing for different users. He will distribute the thing among such users in such a way that it has the same marginal utility from all is called as law of equilibrium marginal utility. It's nothing but when a person has a thing which he can use for many purposes in such a way that he can distribute the thing for the different purposes, different users. So finally, the satisfaction that he gets from the different users will be the same. Additional satisfaction from washing, from cleaning, from cooking, from bathing will be the same is called as Law of equimarginal utility. All very good. You can mark up to all. Define law of equimarginal utility is asked you. You should write it down up to all. You understand? And let's go for the assumption of the law of equimarginal utility. What are the assumptions? That introduction. Introduction, definition, assumption. Now we are going to see the assumptions. Understand? Assumptions. The consumer is a rational consumer, so he wants to get maximum satisfaction. What is the meaning of rational? One who assents, one who knows to decide what is wrong and right. We call him as a rational consumer. I just want you to be the rational student. Rational student, one who knows which is wrong and right in his studies. We call him as a rational. Rational. You understand? Rational is the meaning of rational is a person, one who assents, one who knows to decide what is wrong and right is called as a rational. So consumer is a rational consumer here. That he wants the maximum satisfaction. So consumer is a rational. He knows what is wrong and right. He knows to decide. So he wants to get maximum satisfaction from a commodity. And second one, the utility of each commodity is measured in cardinal analysis or cardinal numbers. The utility of each commodity, if I use gulab jamun, no apple and grapes. If I use apple and grapes, so each and every commodity satisfaction must be calculated, must be measured in the values, numerical values. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this we can measure dot, 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 dot. But what is called as first assumption, second assumption, the utility of each commodity is measured in the numerical values or cardinal utility or cardinal numbers. And these are the cardinal numbers. You got it? First point is the consumer is a rational consumer that he wants to get maximum satisfaction. Second assumption is the utility of each commodity is measured in cardinal numbers. Third one, marginal utility of money is remain constant. What is the first one? Maximum satisfaction. Second one, measured in cardinal value. Cardinal numbers. Marginal utility of money is constant. Question session, one second. Let me explain up to this. So what is the third assumption? The marginal utility of money remains constant. So the satisfaction, the money, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apple I consume. So amount of money, if I spend 50 rupees for 7th apple, now this will be fixed forever if you go for the satisfaction. If you go for the next unit of apple, you understand that what is called as marginal utility of money. So marginal utility of money is remain constant here. Is it clear? So let me stop up to this and we'll continue the rest of the thing tomorrow. Okay, let's. Sudha Lakshmi +1 C1. Sudha Lakshmi, are you there? Sudha Lakshmi.
Yes,
You are there, Sudha Lakshmi?
ma'am. Yes, miss.
Do you hear me?
Yes, miss,
Sudhalakshmi?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. What are the other names of law of equal marginal utility?
Law of substitution.
Okay.
Law of maximum satisfaction. Gaussian second
Okay.
law.
Okay. Four names are there, no? Law of substitution,
Law of consumer's equilibrium, miss.
law of consumer equilibrium,
Gaussian second law. The law of maximum
second law,
satisfaction.
the
Law of
law of
maximum
maximum satisfaction. Very good, Sudhalakshmi.
Thank you, miss.
Jay Pratap. Jay Pratap plus one C2. Jay Pratap. Jay Pratap, are you there on the line?
Yes, miss.
Jay Pratap.
Yes,
Okay.
miss.
Okay. Can I know the importance of law of diminishing marginality? Any two importance. Two importance of law of diminishing marginality. Short away sollu. Jay Pratap.
Hello.
Tell me. Can you tell me any two importance of law of diminishing marginality? No, no idea.
Laska.
Any 2 points, ma? Two importance of law of diminishing marginality, ma? Okay, thank you. Next. Amsavardhini.
Yes, miss.
Amsavardhini.
Yes, miss.
Can you tell me any two importance of law of diminishing marginality?
It is helpful for finance minister, miss.
Very good, very good. One more.
And it is one of the fundamental law of consumption.
Very good, Amsavardhini. Thank you so much. Keep it up.
Thank you, miss.
Okay. Next. Price Lauren. Price Lauren, huh? Price Lauren. Price Lauren. Plus one C2. Next. Next, Priyadashni. Yes, Priyadashni, plus one C1.
Yes, miss.
Priyadashni, plus one C1.
Yes, miss.
Who introduced the law of equal marginal utility? Who introduced that?
Marshall. Alfred Marshall.
Very good, Priyadashni. Thank you.
Thank
Next.
you.
Next one. Farzana, plus one C1 Farzana. Farzana,
Yes, miss.
you are there on the line, Farzana.
Yes, miss.
Farzana, can you tell me, I explained three assumptions of law of equal marginality. Can you tell me any two assumptions of law of equal marginality?
Measurable in cardinal numbers.
Okay,
Money remains constant.
very good.
The consumer rational that he gets to the maximum satisfaction.
Enough, ma. Ishwari.
Thank you, miss.
Okay, ma. Thank you.
Miss.
Ishwari,
Yes, miss.
you are there on the line, Ishwari.
Yes, miss.
What are the exception to the law of diminishing marginality? Exception to the law of diminishing marginality, Ishwari. Exception.
Hobbies, drunkards,
Okay.
music and poetry and readings.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Ishwari. Keep it up. And next one, Vinodini, plus one C1 Vinodini.
Yes, miss.
Vinodini, plus one C1 Vinodini.
Yes, miss.
Vinodini, can you tell me any two criticism of law of diminishing marginality? Any two critics?
Utility cannot be
Two critics.
measured.
Be louder, be louder.
Utility cannot be measured numerically because utility is subjective. The law is based on the
Very good.
unrealistic
Enough.
assumptions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Arun. 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 Press one C to Arun. Next, finally, by Netra.
Yes, miss.
Netra.
Yes, miss.
Netra, you are there on the line, Netra. Plus one C, one
Yes,
Netra.
miss.
Okay, Netra, can
Yes,
you tell
miss.
me last two importance of law of diminishing marginality? Last two. Okay, last two importance.
Adam
tell
Smith
me?
explains the famous diamond water paradox
Okay.
and diamond is scarce and hence its marginal utility is high and its price is high.
Okay, very good, very good. Very good, Netra. Thank you,
you,
Netra.
miss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you, miss.
Please.